All right, welcome to your Showit backend area where your templates will live. And I am just going to walk you through what the backend of Showit looks like and let you know all the buttons that you need to click to be able to do the things you want to do with your website. So when you first land in here, you might be directed to your homepage. This is in that tab. But we're going to click on site right now because that is going to show us all the elements of our website. So your site settings area is the area where you're going to add things like your domain. It's where you can add your site name, add your favicon, which we'll talk about later. It's where we connect blog, your social links, and any integrations like Google Analytics. So your design settings area we'll also talk about in another video, but this is where your fonts and all of your color palettes and your styling lives. Your media library will live here. You can add different folders. I'm trying to get organized myself, but that is where you will keep all of your files. All right, so your page area is here. So these are all of the individual pages that are included with your templates. So you're going to have things like services, your about area, terms and conditions, all of the fun things that you need to be able to use on your website. And then this area here is your blog. So for those of you who aren't familiar too much with the way Showit works, the blog area is connected to WordPress, and it actually pulls in the content from WordPress, and that will populate once your website is actually live. So this is basically like a template that is really connected to your WordPress. So your blog posts, once you put them in WordPress, will populate here if you are going to use the blog template. So we have one for your podcast if you want, if you prefer to do it YouTube style. And then obviously this is what the single post would look like. And of course we have to have a 404 page for there as well. And just a page placeholder, which is important. So this bar here, you'll probably want to customize if you're using your blog. Again, we'll talk about that in a later video, but just getting you familiar with the difference between pages and blog templates. So site canvases are basically pieces of your website that will change across all of the pages. So if you add this header to home, gallery, services, etc., it will all be the same. So if you ever need to edit that, this is where you will go. So for example, if we were to click on our about page, and you'll see that this is kind of has the stripes. Click on the header area and this will open up and you'll be able to work on it there. There's also something called a canvas set. So you can add site canvases to your canvas set to make sure that these pages show up on every single page of your website. So if you don't need to change your header in any pages, you would probably want to add your header to the canvas set. Same thing with your blog pages. So we have that set up. It's basically the same thing. So we just want to make sure all these pages are showing up. Again, this is where you can edit your site canvases, which are pieces that you can use across the boards. For example, this testimonial area we can use on several different parts of our website without having to recreate it every time. And it just makes it really seamless to be able to update one area. All right, so down here, this is where you can see the different views for your website. So right now we're viewing both the mobile, and I'll just go back to our home. So you can view both the mobile view and the desktop view. If you just want to work on your mobile view, you can click the button below of just mobile, and same thing for desktop. With your template, we have styled this for both mobile and desktop, so you don't have to worry about that, but just so you have that knowledge. There's things here like if you want to zoom in, you can add guidelines if you want. Not as important because your design is already created. And down here, this is an area where if you need to add text, you can click on the little T with the plus sign. You can add title, heading, subheading, and paragraph. Just as a reminder for those of you who aren't very familiar with SEO settings, the title will automatically come up as H1 tag, which you can only have one of those per page for your SEO to do its thing. So very rarely will you need to use title, but you want to take advantage of using headings, subheadings, and paragraphs. Again, you can also just edit the text that we have here, but I just wanted to show you so you know where to go if you ever need to add anything in. All right, down here, you can add all kinds of different things. We've got rectangles, ovals, lines, icons. These icons are SVG files, and that means that you can change them however you like. You can change the color of them to be whatever you like. All right, we also have embed code. So if you're adding in something like your email subscription embed box, that's where you would use that. And again, you would just type the code into there. We'll talk about that probably in another video as well. And you can add videos, you can add galleries, your social grid, all of that fun stuff. All right, down here, this is where you can click to add in media. So if you want to add in reviews or pictures or anything like that, that's where you can do. You can add new folders. Again, I'm trying to get nice and organized here, but usually it just looks like a hot mess. So I highly recommend using folders right off the bat. And yeah, so down here we have our undo, redo button. Get help. You can ask Showit for support. They are fantastic. They have fantastic customer service. Here, this is our toolbar. So as you click on things, you'll notice the styling area for each item. And we'll go over what these things are in other videos. But basically, if you're clicking on text, you have text style, text properties. So that's your H1 tags and things like that. You just want to make sure all of that is properly set up in this template. But if you need to make changes, just pay note to making sure that your tags are correct. Size and position. If you want to lock something to a certain area, this is what these are for. If you want to center something to your canvas, this is your canvas here. The area that you're working on, your canvas background. You can change colors here. So if we wanted to change that quickly, that's how we would do it. Animation, that's if you wanted to bring in different settings to make your website a little bit less like a PDF. All right, so that is basically the back end of Showit, and everything you need is right here.